Alright, perpendicular lines. So remember, when we're talking about perpendicular lines, their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So what that means is when we take their slope, so like 7/5, the reciprocal would be turning that to 5/7. The opposite, since this is positive, would be making it negative. So my perpendicular slope would be negative 5/7. Okay. On number 2, the slope of negative 5/3, to be the reciprocal, is 3/5. It's negative, so we keep it positive. So it would be a positive 3/5. Okay, and that's all we do on these first ones. So 9/4 becomes 4/9. It was positive, we make it negative. That's like 1, which would be 1/1, so it would be -1. Because it would be -1/1, which is, the same as just -1. So -1 just becomes a positive 1. 3/5 becomes 5/3 to the negative. 4/5 negative becomes 5/4 to the positive. 1/4 becomes 4/1, or just 4. Number 9, negative 3/4 becomes 4/3 to the positive, and -1, like we said, becomes positive 1. Now, on some of these, we have to figure out what the slope is first before we can deal with it, right? And then we just treat it the same way. So first I'd subtract a 2x from both sides. So I'd have -3y equals -2x plus 6. Divide everything by -3. And I get y equal 2/3. Let's try that again. 2/3 x minus 2. So our slope is 2/3, so our perpendicular slope would be 3/2 to the negative. And that was 13. So 12, or 11, not 13. Subtract an 8x, so we get 3y equals -8x minus 12. Divide everything by 3. We get y equals -8/3 x minus 4. So its slope is 8/3 to the negative, so mine's a positive 3/8 for perpendicular slope. Okay, 14. Subtract by x, so I get y equals -x plus 4. Slope of -1 should be 1/1. Mine becomes 1/1 to the positive, or just 1. Okay, 13. Subtract by an x. -2y equals -x plus 6. We divide everything by -2. We get y equals positive 1/2 x minus 3. So we make it negative because it was positive, and 2/1, or just -2 for our perpendicular slope. Okay, so 15, subtract by 3x. So we'd end up with -2y equals -3x minus 8. Divide by -2. Get y equals positive 3/2 x plus 4. Slope of 3/2 we turn into 2/3 and make it negative. That would be for 15. For 16, subtract 2x from both sides. Get -5y equals -2x minus 10. Divide by -5. We get y equals positive 2/5 x plus 2. So 2/5 becomes 5/2. Positive becomes negative. There's my perpendicular one. If I look at 18, I would have to add 1 and subtract x, so I'd end up with y equals -x plus 1. So -1 for my slope, which turns into a positive 1. For this one, we'd subtract 25, so I'd have -x minus 25 equals 5y. Divide by 5 on everything. So we'd have -1/5 x minus 5 equals y. Slope of -1/5 would become a slope of 5/1, or just 5 to the positive. Okay, if I look at 19, we would just have to divide by -2 on everything. So So we end up with y equals positive 1/2 x plus 4. Positive 1/2 would turn into a negative 2/1, or just negative 2. Now 17 is a little bit crazier, so we would add 1 to both sides first, giving me 1/3 y equals negative 5/2 x plus 1. To get rid of 1/3, I would times everything by 3. So I'd have y equals, now 12 is like 4 times 3, so the 3's would cancel out. We'd have negative 5/4 x plus 3. Slope of negative 5/4 becomes a positive 4/5 for our perpendicular slope. Okay? Now let's look at these other ones. Okay? And remember, the idea here is, just like with parallel lines, we have an x and a y. We're using the slope-intercept form, so we need the y-intercept and the slope. We know a line is perpendicular to, so I can find the slope, right? So negative 3/2 would become positive 2/3. So my slope is a positive 2/3. So it's going to be y equals 2/3 x plus something. Well, how do we find the b? To do that, we use this x and y, so y of 0. We use our perpendicular slope, 2/3, times our x value, 3, plus b, and then we can solve. So we'd get 2 plus b equals 0, subtract 2, negative 2 would equal b, so I could actually change that to a minus 2. And that would be an equation of a line perpendicular to this line that goes through this point. And so that's the process we're going to use for this whole thing. Okay, so an x and a y, so I'd go 3 equals, the slope is 4/3, so we'd make it negative 3/4. So negative 3/4, the x value is negative 4, plus b. So 4's would cancel, negatives cancel, we're left with 3 plus b equals 3, subtract 3, we get 0 equals b. So a slope of negative 3/4, a y-intercept of 0, we get y equals negative 3/4 x, and that's my equation. For 23, we've got an x and a y. Slope of negative 1/4 would become positive 4/1, or just positive 4. So I go y equals 4x, and then we need to find what b would be. So to find that, I go a y value of 3 equals 4 times an x value of 1 plus b. So 4 plus b equals 3. Subtract by 4. Negative 1 equals b. Our equation is y equals 4x minus 1. Okay, for 24, same idea. My x, my y. Slope of 3/2 would turn into negative 2/3. So I'd go y equals negative 2/3 x plus b. We don't know what b is, so y becomes negative 2. X becomes 3. And we can solve for b. Negative 2 plus b equals negative 2. Add 2 to both sides, and we get 0 equals b. So my equation, y equals my new slope, negative 2/3 x plus 0, which, taking off that plus 0, is the same thing. So there's my equation. Okay, 25, 2 and 0. Slope of negative 2/3 would become positive 3/2. So 0 equals 3/2 times 2 plus b. 2's cancel. 3 plus b equals 0. Subtract 3. Negative 3 equals b. My new equation, y equals 3/2 x minus 3. And finally, the last one, slope of 3, that's like 3/1, so it would become negative 1/3. So y equals negative 1/3 x. Then my slope, we use that x and that y, and we'd go 4 for y equals negative 1/3 for slope, times negative 3 for the x plus b. 3's cancel, positives cancel, 1 plus b equals 4. Subtract 1, 3 equals b, so plus 3. Okay? We've got a few more to do here. So same idea. Slope of negative 1/2 would be a slope of positive 2 over 1, or just 2. A y of 4, and slope of 2, and x of 2, plus b. 4 plus b equals 4, subtract 4. 0 equals b, so my new equation, y equals 2x plus 0, or just 2x. Okay, 28, slope of negative 2 over 9 would become perpendicular, positive 9 over 2. A y value of negative 5, slope of 9 over 2, x value of negative 2, plus b. 2's cancel, 9 would be negative. Add 9. Negative 5 plus 9 is positive 4 for b. So my new equation, y equals 9/2 x plus 4. Okay, 30, x and a y. Slope of negative 5 would turn into positive 1/5. So negative 4 would equal 1/5 times negative 1 plus b. That would give us a negative 1/5 plus b equals negative 4. Add 1/5 to both sides, and that would be a negative 3 and 4/5 would be b. So we'd go y equals my new slope, 1/5 x minus 3 and 4/5. And that's our slope. Okay, 29, and x and a y. Slope of negative 2 would turn into positive 1/2. So negative 1 equals 1/2 times negative 2 plus b. 2's cancel, negative 1 plus b equals negative 1. Add 1, 0 equals b. So y equals 1/2 x plus 0 would be our equation. And that's how we do all those ones. So now, on these rest of these graphing ones, we just find the slope of their line, and then we use that to draw a perpendicular line. Okay? So slope would be from here to here, so up 2 to the right 1. So this slope of 2 over 1 would turn into negative 1/2. So I pick a point. Let's use that same one. I go down 1 to the right 2. And there's a line perpendicular. Okay, 32. Here's a point. A little off there. And a point right there. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 6. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So their slope negative 6 over 5. Our slope positive 5 over 6. So we pick a point anywhere. Doesn't really matter. And we go up 5. To the right 6. Right about there. And there's our line perpendicular. Okay, 33. Got a point right here and a point right here. So down 5 to the right 3. So their slope negative 5/3. Ours becomes a positive 3/5. So I pick a point anywhere. Then we go up 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's our point right there. Draw my line, and there's my line perpendicular. Okay, 34, we have a horizontal line, so we draw a vertical line because they're perpendicular. Easy enough, right? Okay, just like 37, we have a vertical line, so we draw a horizontal line, and that one's done as well. Point, we go up 1 to the right 2, so 1/2 would turn into negative 2, so we pick a point, and that's like negative 2 over 1. So we go down 2 to the right 1, and those were both off, weren't they? Down 2 to the right 1, and that would be my perpendicular line. Okay, so down 2 to the right 2. So negative 2 over 2, which would become negative 1. So perpendicular would be positive 1 over 1, or just 1. So pick a point, go up 1 over 1, and draw your perpendicular line. 38, point right there, so up 1, 2, 3, 4. to the right 5. So 4 over 5 would become negative 5 over 4. Pick a point. Let's go up here. Let's pick a better point. Let's go right up there. We go down 5 to the right 4 and draw our line perpendicular. Okay, now just a reminder, finding distance between points. When it's horizontal, we just count, so that'd be 3. Vertical, we count. That'd be 5. If we have points, two ways we could do it. Probably the main way would be using the distance formula, and we'd go one x value or y value minus the other y value squared plus an x value minus the other x value squared. So negative 5 squared would become 25. That would be plus negative 5 plus 7 would become 2 squared, which would be 4. So we'd have the square root of 29, which would give us about 5.4. Okay, so that distance formula is one way we can do it. The other way we could do it is actually graph the points and then use the Pythagorean theorem. So 0, negative 2 would be right there-ish. And then negative 6, negative 4 would be right about there. It'd go one more out. So then I could make a triangle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 2, so 6 and 2. And then using the Pythagorean theorem, go 6 squared plus 2 squared would equal c squared. 36 plus 4 would equal c squared. 40 would equal c squared. Take the square root, and so the square root of 40 would give us about 6.3 for our answer. And we could use either one of those to help us with these ones, but since they were vertical and horizontal, they're easy enough. Now remember, parallel lines have the same slope, so slope of 6 would mean we have a slope of 6. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line at 3, so another horizontal line would give us a slope of 0. Okay? And then this same process we used before on these guys, we use here, except we keep the same slope, so my slope is negative 4/3. Okay? The y-intercept, we use this x and this y to figure it out. So, negative 5 and negative 4, positive 20 over 3. Subtract that, which that would be what, 6 2/3. So 1 minus 6 2/3 would give us 5 2/3, negative 5 2/3. So y equals negative 4/3 x minus 5 2/3. And the last one, same idea. Same slope, so slope is negative 2. We need to find our y-intercept. So negative 4 for y equals our slope, negative 2 times 4 plus b. Negative 8 plus b equals negative 4. Add 8. Negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. So b equals 4, so y equals negative 2x plus 4. And there we go, guys.